Welcome back everyone to more career mode gameplay of NASCAR Heat 5. And now's the time in the season where things get really interesting, and I think is going to be among the most difficult stretches we are going to face. So we know it's going to be at least probably 3 to 4 more races before we get our next upgrade, which will be to the engine. If we hop over to the work plan tab, we'll see that the engine right now is at 95. We want to get that to 100. Because if you're with us in our most recent video at Michigan, we had a ton of trouble with cars simply running away from us. There was nothing we could do. We could hang with them in the corners and really hold our own quite well. But when it came time for the straightaway, they just left us in the dust, and that really limited what we could do. And ultimately, we didn't get any stage points, and our final result was not good. So those types of races are not going to get us into the playoffs ultimately. So we need to do better than that. And the way we're going to do better than that, I believe our best chance is to upgrade that engine and get it to 100 so that at least we can be on even par with them as far as the engine is concerned. Then we'll have to look for more grip through aero and suspension upgrades. But if we hop over to the season standings, so we're ready for Sonoma today. Now we will not be running Sonoma. I am going to simulate that race, which is why this next several races are going to be a very tough stretch for us, because we know whenever we simulate races, we generally do not get very good results at all. And of course, to compound that even further, we don't have a road course chassis, so that's going to make it even worse. But if I swap over to the playoff standings, we are now the final driver in on points. We're hanging in there because there have only been 9 drivers to catch a victory so far in this season. As long as that will continue, we've got a shot. But if another driver or two pick up their first win of the season, we are in serious trouble when trying to think about making it in on points. Because you can see we're now 16 points behind Clint Boyer, who had a great race at Michigan, and we're a little bit further than that behind Alex Bowman. So we're really about 15 to 20 points away from even contending for another spot. So we really don't want any new first-time winners from this point forward. So if we hop back over to the work plan, let's take a look and see what's coming up next. Now we know Sonoma, we're going to be simulating that race. So our race in today's video will be Chicagoland. A 1.5 mile track, very, very fast. So hopefully the engine will not hurt us too bad, and hopefully we can get through the corners enough so that we can hold our own on the straightaways and get at least a top 15 finish, preferably closer to the top 10, so that we don't fall any further behind those other 2 guys on points. Then after that, we've got Pocono back-to-back. Now, once again, I will not be running both of those races. I want to add a little bit of intrigue in here, so what I plan to do right now is simulate the first Pocono race. That will tell us an idea of what the computer thinks we should be finishing in these races, and then we'll run the second Pocono race and see if we can do better than what the computer thinks we should be doing with these simulated results. But first and foremost, today we need to prepare as best we can for the simulation of Sonoma. So I'm going to go ahead and use the first 2 chassis here, the 2 Speedway chassis. And we're going to get these guys set up as good as possible. Now you notice Speedway chassis number 2, 78, 76, and 78, which is very good considering we just used that chassis at Michigan. Well, we got smooth driving bonus. That's why it didn't go all the way back down to 70. So we got some really good bonuses there. But now, after we start that work, let's go ahead and take care of that. Accept that. So Speedway chassis number 1, is that what we want to use in today's race? And that would seem to give us our best opportunity for a good finish, because you notice Speedway chassis number 2, we could use that. It's only a -8. I am tempted, since they're fairly close, I'm tempted to save car number 1 for Chicago since it's already done, but it's really not going to matter a whole lot either way. So I tell you what, we're going to go ahead and just give ourselves the best opportunity possible and go with car number 1. So we'll go ahead and accept that. And here we go. Simulate that race. Let's see what we get. All right, so we'll give it a moment. And what did we get? Oh, my goodness. Oh, my. 33rd. That I did not expect, and I'm sure it's going to give us a lousy, sloppy driving. There we go. So we got no bonuses, essentially, at all. That's pretty much worst case scenario. We finished all but dead last in that race. $678,000, which is nice, but even that is a far cry from where we need it to be. Wow, this is really making it difficult. Yikes. I did not expect it to be that bad. I could have done with maybe a 22nd, 25th, but 33rd is just yikes. That is, well, I guess maybe we could have saved chassis number 1, and how much worse could it have been when you think about it now? Okay, so I almost hate to do it, but we need to go check the season standings. Where are we now? Okay, somehow we're still here. How are we still in 16th place? Now, you notice that our deficit now to Boyer and Bowman is growing. Okay, we're getting way too close to 40 points as far as I'm concerned. But wow, that is, this is putting us in a very, very rough spot. Okay, but good news is we're still here. We're still here for now. So we've got, let's see, who's dominating? So Kevin Harvick, big shocker there. Again, remember, this is not 2021 it's based on, it's 2020. And of course, we know Kevin Harvick got a ton of wins last year. All right, so we got Kyle Busch, Logano. Again, none of these are surprising at the very top. Okay, not too bad overall. But now here we are at the bottom, just trying to maintain. So let's talk a little bit more about our discussion. I keep mentioning in each of these videos that we don't need any new first-time winners. Well, there's a caveat to that. A first-time winner is okay as long as they're already ahead of us in points. What we don't need, absolutely, and I should have clarified this along the way, what we don't need is somebody outside of the current playoff standings getting a victory which thrusts them in front of us and knocking us out. So as long as, like you notice right now, there are 10 winners right now, but whoever got that most recent victory was already ahead of us in the points. So they were already in this top 16, so that's not really a huge issue. So for example, if Martin Truex won the next race, that's not a huge issue. Our problem would be if somebody outside this list of 16 drivers gets a victory. All right, so the other good piece of news is that not only are we still in the top 16, but if you look in the bottom right-hand corner, Matty D, 26 points behind us. So he didn't make up any ground. In fact, I think he lost a few points there. So he is not having any luck, just like we are not having any luck. Tyler Reddick is 37 points behind. So he's got some work to do as well if he's going to catch up to us. So as bad as the Sonoma race was, it could have been so much worse. We're still here. And that is the major thing. All right, so let's come back over. Work plan. Now, first and foremost, let's get chassis number 2 started because we want to make sure we get it maxed out for our race at Chicago. And then, you notice in the bottom right-hand corner, we've got all speedways coming up, so there's no reason for us to touch the short track chassis. Now, unfortunately, that sloppy driving, which is almost always happens to me whenever I simulate a race, that may come back to hurt us over the next few races, possibly. I'm not sure exactly how that's going to go, but the biggest thing is we don't need that to happen multiple times in a row because otherwise we won't have a fully upgraded chassis. In fact, it's looking like chassis number 1 will not be fully upgraded even after we do it once again, at least not without some more upgrades, some more work on our employees, which I do not plan to do right now. As a reminder, our next upgrade to take our engine from 95 to 100 is going to cost $8 million. So we're about $1.8 million from that. So we could get that done in 2 more races, provided our income is high enough. All right, so let's go ahead. We got everybody working. Everybody is assigned. Let's get those done. 95, 90, and 95. We need to select our car for the race. We'll select, of course, Speedway Chassis number 2. Okay, all of the pre-race preparation is done. Let's get to racing at Chicagoland. All right, folks, here we go. Race time at Chicagoland. Unfortunately, our qualifying position is not good. Wow, look at Joey Logano. He shows up twice here in the stories of the race. He's been dominant all weekend and won the pole. Well, that's, yeah, I'd say that's pretty good domination so far if, of course, you actually have practice and qualifying. All right, so Michael McDowell going to the back. I don't think that will make any difference to us. Nope, we're still starting on the inside line in 19th position. So yeah, this is starting to give me flashbacks to Michigan, and that is not a good thing.
Still there.
All right, so let's see how the car handles.
Careful, still there.
All right, can we hang in here on the inside?
Careful, still there.
Well, we can,
All right, you're clear.
as long as speed is not an issue. Okay, so that wasn't too bad. It shows me that we can have a terrible angle into the corner and still do okay. So now I just need to figure out where my lift points are for each of the corners on corner entry, because we want to get in there smooth. We want to carry as much throttle as we can so that we can keep our momentum up since we are down on both horsepower and grip. So it's going to be a little different than it would be if we had a fully upgraded car, but just trying to figure out, because I'm definitely not using the brake. May have to use it some in traffic, but the question is, how much do I have to lift off the throttle on corner entry? Like right then, I was almost completely out of it because I wasn't sure what these guys were going to do in front of us. All right, another short stage. 9 or 10 laps is what we're used to on these bigger tracks. Ooh, look out, little contact there. Couldn't get off of him. Like we were stuck together.
You got room, you're clear.
All right, so I'm trying to hug this bottom as best I can because I don't like our chances if we get sent up the track. And so far, so good.
5 to go, you got this.
Yeah, really tight there on entry.
Got a car high now.
I saw the 42 coming. I'm going to try to get out of his way.
Careful.
Let's see if we can hang this bottom probably 3 wide. Yep, there you can see the 42 is screaming off the high side.
Careful, still there. Hold your line, got one outside. Stay on the bottom here.
We're right here with, I believe that's the 95 on our outside, but I just can't seem to shake him. All right, maybe we got into through the corner good enough there. Nope, still not. He is still out there. That is a bit worrisome.
Car high, careful there. Got a car low now. Car there on the
Ooh,
outside.
hello, little contact there.
Hold your line, 3 wide.
Oh, yeah, that's a lot of contact there. I'm not sure what happened or who was there. Huge contact. So we got hit by the 14 on corner entry. And then by somebody, maybe in the 3 car. I see him up top there.
2 at the line.
All right, 2 more laps. Once again, we're too far out for any stage points, but as always, we want to get as many spots as we can.
Stay on the bottom.
Car feels nice into turn 3 and through turn 3. But turns 1 and 2 is a little different story.
Last lap, hit your mark.
Since it's the last lap, I thought I would mess around up top a little bit. I'm not sure that's going to be any better. All right, so coming out of turn 4, 17th place it will be here in stage number 1. Again, just like Michigan, I'm having serious flashbacks from Michigan, and that is not a good thing. Okay, so we're not going to pit here. That's not going to do us any good. We'll wait and pit after stage number 2.
All right, be smart out there. Going green. Be ready here.
All right, we need a good start.
All right, 10 to go.
And we need to pick up
Keep it
some
nice and
positions.
smooth for us. Still there.
Even though we're going to be pitting and giving up our spot
Car on the outside
at
now.
the end of this stage, I mean, we still want to make up positions. I mean, after all, this is a race. And you never want to lose positions. You always want to get all you can get. All right, I'm pedaling the gas a little bit here since everybody is so packed together.
Careful, still there.
Oh, yeah.
Got one outside now.
Trying to stay off the 95 on corner entry is a little easier said than done. Yeah, he's got tails wagging all over the place on that car. We want to see if we can't clear him. We couldn't do it earlier.
Still there.
All right, so on the outside, he's coming back on us. Again, we just need a good break in one corner, and I think we'll be able to get him. Okay, so for right now, we're clear. I thought we were going to be able to get to the inside of the 1. Couldn't quite get to his inside. I mean, we were fast enough to be there. But coming off the corner, I just couldn't quite get to where I needed to be.
Still there. Careful, still there.
All right, once again, just like with the 95, we want to have a good corner entry.
Still there.
Back out of it a little early, try to get down in here, get back to the gas. All right, and we're clear. Unfortunately, there's that 3 car that's coming right back to us. And I don't know about holding him off.
Still there inside.
And just as I say that, he was there before I could even get down into the corner.
Stay high, stay high. Got a car low now.
So yeah, I'm barely out of the gas at all, which makes me wonder how much it's going to help by coming in to get tires. I mean, it's not like tire wear is a huge factor here, but
Inside. Inside.
I just can't go anywhere right now. We made up a few spots here at the beginning, but now that we're stuck on the outside, we can't go anywhere. Except backwards. We're doing a good job of going backwards right now.
Careful, still there.
And I'm trying to run these guys as hard as I can to hold them down.
Inside, inside.
But it's just not working. So at this point, even though I'm not sure how much we're going to gain from new tires, I feel like it's almost something we have to do.
Clear high, clear high.
Because otherwise we have no shot of moving forward beyond like something like 15th might be about all we could get under the perfect circumstances right now. We're in 16th, and of course we know we've passed these guys in front of us
Got one up top.
previously, so Still there is not what we wanted to hear.
All right, clear outside.
So another thing that I've talked about in a lot of the videos is whenever I'm trying to decide whether or not we're going to pit, I always look to see, are we losing ground to the AI by the end of the stage, and right now we are not.
Careful, still there.
We are not losing ground at all. All right, so final lap of the stage. We're in 14th and doing quite well, actually. But you can see coming off the corner there, if anything, we're starting to really show up with some strength over the AI. So it's never an easy decision. But you can see, I mean, we're doing quite well as this stage comes to an end. And once again, no points. So we'll come home 13th, but yikes, what a decision to make. All right, do we come in and give up? I'm going to say yeah. Let's have fun with this thing. All right, I'm going to actually bring this down a little bit. So once again, 40th position. We've got to get to, I believe, 15th.
You're coming to the green.
15th or 16th is sort of our break-even point. And we have 12 or 13 laps to make that happen.
Still there.
Now we should be able to get by the first 5 or so cars pretty quickly here on the first couple of laps.
Still there.
Oh, you could hear me get completely out of the gas. That wasn't because of handling, that was because I thought that car was going to come right up in front of me. All right, so right now it's just trying to find room on the track. We just need asphalt.
Careful, still there. You're all clear up top there.
Once again, way out of the gas on corner entry, just trying to see where these guys are going. And that's not a bad thing. That is a strong suit of NASCAR Heat 5. A very strong suit. Look out, 62. That's Brendan Gaughan almost got himself wrecked.
Stay on the bottom here. Keep digging. 10 to go. Top 3, use it if you need it. Car on the outside now.
Some of these guys are like moving chicanes.
You're all clear up top.
You can see corner exit, we are destroying these guys. But again, keep in mind we're about 30th position, so.
Still there. You got room, you're clear there.
Now when you see the car pivot like that and really rotate in the center of the corner and corner exit, what's happening is I have the car set up to where I can drive it with the throttle. The more I lift out of the gas, the more the car rotates.
Got one peeking outside.
So when you see that happening, you see the car take a set and really turn and rotate quickly. That's me breathing the throttle and backing out of it so that I can get the car rotated and pointing in the direction that I want.
Stay high, stay high.
But for all of its issues, or at least my issues, with the NASCAR Heat franchise, particularly physics-wise, the AI are a strong suit. They have their own set of issues, no doubt. Wow. Nowhere to go there with those guys. I actually had to touch the brake there for the first time in this race.
Still there?
The 8 car was making it very difficult for me there, and I thought he was going to come right down in front of us.
Still there?
But yeah, the AI, of course, have their own issues. I mean, what game doesn't with the AI if we're talking about driving games and racing games in general? But as I've said many times,
still there?
Just give me some decent AI that can at least hold their line. They recognize the players there so they don't just run through you.
Careful.
And most important, let them run around the track, multiple
Car there on
grooves.
the inside.
And NASCAR Heat does that. And does that quite well. Again, it always is going to have its negatives. And we've seen that particularly on the plate tracks. I see most everybody is hanging at the bottom right now. All right, we finally cracked the top 20.
Careful, still there.
So now this pass
5
should
to go,
put
you
us
got
in.
this.
Yeah, that's 18th.
All right, you're clear.
All right, where is he going? But see, in iRacing right now, I don't have to worry about corner entry and where's that car going in front of me. I know where they're going. They're going to the preferred groove each and every time.
Careful, still there.
The only time they deviate from that is when there's another car
Clear high, clear high.
already there and they have to take the second option. But here in NASCAR Heat, I don't know where they're going before they get there. I have to try to figure out and sometimes just flat out guess if I'm right behind them. All right, so as these laps begin to wind down, once again, you can see we're basically where we were, pretty close to where we were when we came into pit. So now we've simply been able to have a lot of fun coming back up through the field. And right now I have my eyes set on that 41 car.
Still there.
That 41 car up there, I believe, would put us right back where we were when we pitted.
Hold your line, stay high.
But you can see we can make that high side work with the new tires versus their older tires. Because you can see we're just destroying them on corner exit right now.
Stay on the bottom. You got room, you're clear. White flag, next time by.
All right, so he said white flag next time by, so that gives us 14th position. All right, that's what I was looking for. And now I am setting sail. We'd like to get past that 3 car. But do we have enough time? I really need these guys to get hung up. If we had about 5 more laps, we could really do some serious damage. But unfortunately, we are going to run out of time. So I'm going to draft him as hard as I can down this straightaway. All right, do we have enough time? Oh, couldn't quite get there. Again, you can see our guys spinning out. I'm not sure why we're spinning out. Look at that, all that contact and a full-blown pile up there. It looks like after the flag again, the AI is not quite sure what to do when we were down on the flat coming to the start finish. So 14th position. Again, 5 more laps. We might have been able to get in the top 10, depending on how many cars were fairly close to us. But I'll take that. That's better than I thought we were going to get. It's better than we did at Michigan. We're still in a situation where we're good through the corners, but we cannot hang with them on the straightaway. So if we can get the straightaway back, if we can get that extra horsepower, I think we can get inside that top 10 more consistently. All right, so let's go ahead and move forward. And let's see what that does for the point standing. So our race earnings, what do we get here? Okay, 900,000. That is much better than the 600,000 and 700,000 we've been seeing. I'll take that for sure. All right, so point standings. Yeah, we're not really gaining anymore on Clint and Alex at this point. But Matty D, 21 points out. So we need to keep him in that 20 to 25 point range because that will keep him at arm's reach and hopefully give us a little bit of padding for when we have those bad races, especially when we simulate them. All right, so not too bad. Overall, I'm pretty happy with that. Car handled just fine given the circumstances, and a 14th position held us exactly where we were in the points. So that's going to do it for today. Thank you so much for joining me, and stick around for more NASCAR Heat 5.